Hey everybody, Ryan here. Alright, I'm going to quickly go over all the games for the 11th of April 2021 and all the trades that have occurred so far this evening. Alright, if you have not done so already, please hit that subscribe button and make sure to hit that like button too if you enjoy the video. Alright, let's get started. First game is between Buffalo and Philadelphia. Philly just cannot put a string of wins together for the life of them. Buffalo seems to be getting on a winning streak finally. That's just how it works sometimes. Alright, 11:36 into the first. Oscar Lindblom's 6th of the year from Shane Gostisbehere and Nicholas Aube-Kubel. That 14-14 of this first period. Joel Farabee's 15th on the power play from Nolan Patrick and Sean Couturier. At 3:56 of the second, Sam Reinhart's 14th from Jeff Skinner. Then at 4:42 of the second, R2 Rustalainen, not Ristolainen, Rustalainen. Sorry, that was a weird one. His first of the year, first of his career. Congrats to him. And that is from Dylan Cousins. Then at 3:47 of the third, Philly would take the lead again, 3-2. Gostisbehere would score his 8th of the year from Farabee and Philip Myers. But then Buffalo would come back late in this period. 16:57 into the third, Jeff Skinner's 5th from Victor Olofsson and Jacob Bryson. That would tie the game at 3. At 17:22, Rasmus Asplund scored his 5th from Bryson. And then at 19:36, Casey Milstead would score the empty net goal, making it 5-3 your final score win for Buffalo. Casey Milsted's 6th from Kyle Pozo and Riley Sheehan. Alright, Philly outshot Buffalo 43-31. They beat him in the faceoff dot as well, 55-45. Buffalo was 0-for-3 on the power play. Philly 1-for-1. So 100%. Yay! It's always exciting, but unfortunately still lost. Philly had 8 penalty minutes to Buffalo's 4. Buffalo had 21 hits to Philly's 17. Philly beat them in the blocks department, 15-12. Giveaways were 11-9. Buffalo 11. Olmark had 40 saves, 930 save percentage for the win. And Carter Hart, 26 saves, 867 save percentage. I feel bad for this kid this year. That team just cannot coalesce defensively around him. And he can't stop the puck for the life of him. At least it feels like that. Alright, on to... I almost said Phoenix again. Arizona versus Vegas. A battle of the desert. Ugh. Alright, Vegas won this battle 1-0, giving Arizona 2 straight losses against them. They needed at least one of the two to this series, so really did not get anything. Alright, it did take until 10:38 of the third for someone to score. Tomas Nosek scores his 7th from Jonathan Marchessault. That's your game-winning goal and your only goal of the game. Shots on goal were 29-14 in favor of Vegas. Face-off 65-35 in favor of Vegas. Power play 0-for-1 for Arizona, 0-for-2 for Vegas. Penalty minutes 6-4, Arizona was 6. Blocks 38-29 in favor of Arizona. Blocks 16-14 in favor of Vegas. And giveaways were 9-0. Vegas with 9. Well, at least Arizona's coach should be happy about the 0 giveaways. That's always a positive. Aiden Hill had 28 saves, 966 save percentage, and Fleury 14 saves shutout. I believe, who did he pass? He passed Ed Belfour today. Was that wins or shutouts? Oh, God, I missed which one it was. I want to say it was shutouts, though. Alright, moving on to Colorado versus Anaheim. And Anaheim lost again. I'm not mad that they lost to Colorado. I had no problem with the Colorado. It's just sometimes just wish they'd do more. At least my favorite team. Colorado does plenty. Alright, 7:46 into the first. Andrei Burakovsky scores his 12th from Valery Nichushkin. Then at 6:35 of the second, Gabriel Landeskog scores his 16th on the power play from Nathan McKinnon and Mikko Rantanen. Then at 12:37 of the third, Jamie Drysdale gets his 2nd of the year from Troy Terry and Sam Carrick. Oh, I forgot to mention, 8:22 of the first, Nicholas Deslauriers fought Liam O'Brien. That goes back to last game, the end of last game when O'Brien went after who did he go after? Josh Manson for a bit of a late hit. Didn't blame him for going after him. It was good that he stood up for himself, but I think that has more to do with that. Just Delorier being the tough guy of the team, standing up for his teammate. Even though I'm pretty sure Manson could have held his own. I've seen him fight quite a few times. He usually holds his own pretty dang well. Alright, 14-13 into the third. Ryan Gray's first of the year, which is kind of shocking, from Tyson Jost and Gabriel Landeskog. At 16:54, McKinnon would score 16 from Makar and Landeskog, giving you your final score 4-1. Colorado with the 2 points. Colorado outshot Anaheim 37-25, even in the face-off 50% each. Power play 1 for 4 for Colorado, 0 for 2 for Anaheim. Penalty minutes were 29-25. There was misconduct handed out at the end of the game. 29 for Anaheim. Hits were 24-20. Anaheim winning that one. And blocks were 19-12 in favor of Anaheim. Giveaways 12-8, 12 for Anaheim. Johansson, 24 saves, 960 save percentage. Allowed 1 goal in the last 2 games he's played against Anaheim. Like I said last time, it's not saying much considering it's one of the worst offensive teams in the league. But hey, you take a win when you can get a win. It doesn't matter. Gibson, 33 saves, 892 save percentage, continuing a very lackluster second half to the season for him. Alright. Pittsburgh versus New Jersey. Pittsburgh win this one 5-2. 2:35 of the first, Colton Sceviour scores his 4th of the year from Teddy Bluger and Marcus Pettersson. Then at 5:26, Sceviour scores his 5th of the year from Mike Matheson and Cody Ceci. That would be Sceviour's 2nd of the game. Ironically, this is just a few hours after he cleared waivers today. So, hey, good way to clear waivers. Get 2 goals. At 17-14 of the first, Miles Woods would score his 14th from Sami Vatanen and Jesper Bratt. Then at 19-20 of the second, Jake Gensel would add his 18th from Brian Rust and Brian Dumoulin. Brian's, but spelled differently. At 1:19 of the third, Gensel would score his 19th, 2nd of the game, on the power play from Rust and Jared McCann. At 7:30 of the third, PK Subban would add his 4th unassisted, making it 2 goals for the game for New Jersey. At 18:37 of the third, Gensel would complete the hat trick, his 20th of the year, from Crosby and Matheson, giving you your final score of 5-2. Pittsburgh getting the 2 points. Shots on goal were 30-24 in favor of New Jersey. Faceoffs 53-47 in favor of New Jersey. Pittsburgh 1 for 1 on the power play. New Jersey 0 for 2. Penalty minutes 4-2, 4 for Pittsburgh. Hits were 12-7, 12 for not 12. I'm sorry. In New Jersey with the advantage. Blocks 17 each, and giveaways were 12-6. New Jersey with 12. Jerry had 28 saves, 933 save percentage for the win, and Blackwood 19 saves, 826 save percentage for a loss. Alright, now we're on to the New York Rangers versus the New York Islanders. Islanders win this one 3-2 in overtime. Now, at minute 47 into the first period, Kyle Palmieri will get his first career goal with the New York Islanders since the trade earlier this week. His 9th of the year on the power play from Brock Nelson and Josh Bailey. At 19:52 of the first, Jean-Gabriel Pageau would get his 12th from Jordan Eberle and Matthew Barzal. Then the Rangers would come back in the second period. 10:23 of the second, Libor Hajek would score his 2nd of the year from Capo Caco and Philip Cheadle. At 12:16 of the second, Brendan Smith's 3rd from Mika Zibanejad and Vitaly Kravtsov. That would tie your game, and nobody scored in the third or in... Well, they would score in overtime, but nobody was scoring in the third, sending us to overtime. We're at minute 13 into the game. Ryan Pollock will get his 1st of the year. Yes, first this late in the year, but he's a defender, a little bit more of an excuse. But still, 1st of the year, great way to get it at least. From Matthew Barzal. Alright, Islanders will outshoot the Rangers 32-26. They beat them in the faceoff dot 58-42 as well. Power plays were 0 for 3 for the Rangers, 1 for 3 for the Islanders, 8 penalty minutes each. Hits were 27-21 in favor of the Islanders. Blocks 13-10 in favor of the Islanders. And giveaways 10-7, Rangers with 10. Shesterkin had 29 saves, 906 save percentage for the win. No, I'm sorry, loss. And Sorokin would have 24 saves, 923 save percentage for the win. Now on to Washington versus Boston. And Washington would slap Boston hard in this game. It took all of 4 seconds into the first period for Chris Wagner and Brendan Dillon to fight. Those two have been going at each other since Wagner was with Anaheim and Dillon was with San Jose. I don't think this is their first meetup. Alright, 7:33 of the first. TJ Oshie's 13th on the power play from Backstrom and Kuznetsov. 7:49, so 16 seconds after their first goal. Lars Eller would get his 6th from Carl Hagelin and Garnett Hathaway. Then 9:42 into the first, Connor Sheary's 9th from Dmitry Orlov and Daniel Sprong. At 4:41 of the second, Washington would just keep piling them on. Connor Sheary's 10th on the power play from Tom Wilson and Jakub Vrana. That'd be Sheary's 2nd goal of the game, by the way. 16:03 into the second, Nick Dowd's 8th from Carl Hagelin. Then 18:24, Tom Wilson's 10th of the year on the power play from Alex Ovechkin and Justin Schultz. 10:13 into the third, Oshie's 14th from Backstrom. Then at 13:14, Lars Eller would get his 7th from TJ Oshie and Brendan Dillon. I forgot to mention at 3 minutes into the third, Craig Smith's 8th of the year for Boston on the power play from Jake DeBrusk and Charlie Coyle. Oy, that was a slapping and a rare one too, because how many times do you see Alex Ovechkin with 1 assist in a game where the Capitals score 8 goals? It's incredible. Boston would outshoot the Capitals amazingly, 35-33. Beat them in the faceoff dot as well, 54-46. Capitals an amazing 3 for 6 on the power play. Boston 1 for 4. Penalty minutes were 17-13, 17 for Boston. Hits were 25-13 in favor of Boston, and blocks 9-5 in favor of the Capitals. Giveaways 9-5 as well. Capitals with 9. Vanacek for Washington, 34 saves, 971 save percentage for the win. Vlader for Boston was left in the whole game. I feel bad for the rookie. 25 saves, 758 save percentage. That has to be a killer right there for that kid alone. Last game of the evening, Dallas versus Nashville. Nashville winning this one 3-2 in shootout. Dallas needed those 2 points. That hurts they only got 1. But still better than nothing. Alright, 4:56 into the first. Roope Hintz continuing his really good hot streak of late, it seems like. His 13th of the year from John Klingberg. At 10:57 of the first, Ryan Ellis would score his 3rd from Luke Cunnin. And then at 2:09 of the second, Yakov Trenin would score his 4th from Colton Sissons. Then at 18:56 of the second, Jamie Alexiak from Roope Hintz. This evidently was the 1 assist for each goal evening. It's kind of trippy to see that. And nobody scoring a 3rd. Shootout, or nobody scoring overtime either. Then shootout, Ryan Johansson would get the 1 and only shootout goal, the winning goal, giving the Predators a 2-point victory over the team that's chasing him. And I wrote down no stats, so sorry about that. Well, let's get to the trades. The trades are what I think most people want to hear about. Alright, the first trade of the day was New Jersey trading with Washington. New Jersey would get Jonas Siegenthaler, and Washington would get conditional 3rd round pick for this year. If they end up with a 3rd round pick for Siegenthaler, that is pretty dang good, because there have been people traded already that probably were worth a 3rd rounder that they did not get a 3rd rounder for. But honestly, I think that it could help New Jersey down the line, and with draft pick, you never know, and I was unable to find out what the conditions were for that pick. So, I mean, I guess New Jersey wins in the short term. Well, to see with a draft pick, you never know what you're going to get until like 5 years down the line, then you're pretty sure what you got. Montreal, next trade was Montreal would get John Merrill, a good depth defender, from Detroit for Hayden Verbeek and a 2021 5th rounder. And I think Montreal, this is a good solid pickup because it is a good depth defender, which definitely helps because you never know when someone like Shea Theodore is going to go down with injury. Which, granted, he has been very healthy this year, which is a good thing. They need that. I mean, he's been mostly healthy last year, but he had missed some time. So, I think this is a good pickup for Montreal, and Detroit gets a prospect and a 5th rounder. You never know what you're going to get, so yeah, who knows? And I see Hayden Verbeek. It makes me wonder if he's related to Pat Verbeek at all. I don't know if most of you might know or might not know who Pat Verbeek is, but great player back in the day. Alright, this was one of the bigger trades until one came across as I was writing this video out today. But this one was earlier today. This was the big one earlier. Toronto got Nicholas Foligno and Stefan Nason. Stefan Nason, sorry. And San Jose, in return, would get a 4th round pick from Toronto for this year, and they would retain 50% of Foligno's contract. I don't know why, but I feel like last year and every year previously, when you'd retain salary, you get something better than a 4th rounder. It just seems like a ripoff to me. I'm sorry. Usually, Doug Wilson and San Jose is doing the ripping off of other people, but it seems like this year he's got to take advantage of it in this one and the other one where they retained money yesterday, the 3-way trade. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. Columbus, in return, also gets a 2021 first-round pick from Toronto and a 2022 4th rounder, and they retain 50% of Foligno's contract. So there you go. That was the big one. Foligno is going to be a solid pickup for Toronto. That one is going to help a lot. Stefan Nason, I think it's just a throw-in. He may pull into a lineup with injuries and such, but I don't think you see him otherwise. He'll probably ride the taxi squad. But Foligno, definitely a solid pickup, is going to help Toronto down the line. And honestly, I'd say they're definitely a solid pick to be coming out of that North Division at this point. But we have to see who Winnipeg gets at the trade deadline, and if they can get Blake Wheeler back by playoff time. Alright, then this trade. Boston gets Mike Riley from Ottawa for a 2022 3rd round pick. I think this is a good solid pickup for Boston. I mean, it's a under the radar type of pickup because Mike Riley was playing for Ottawa. A lot of people weren't noticing the type of year he was having. He was doing very well. He's a young defender still. So this is a good solid pickup for Boston, and I think this will help their defense. I'm not sure if it's like getting like a Savard or like a Manson, something like that, but he's still a pretty solid young defender who could develop further and become an even better defender. So I think this is a good pickup for Boston. Not who I thought they were going to pick up, but hey, good one either way. Now this is one I think I actually chose Toronto to pick this guy up in my trade deadline preview. If you haven't seen that, go check out that video, by the way. Toronto gets David Rittich from Calgary. Good backup right there. He'll be a good solid backup, and he can come in and start games if something were to happen to Campbell at this point, because I think they're sticking with Campbell. I really do. Then Calgary gets a 2022 3rd round pick. Honestly, I thought they could have got more for him, but hey, it is what it is. He was a UFA after this year anyways, so he may have been itching to leave anyways with the year Calgary's had. But this is a good pickup as well for Toronto, and I gotta imagine there's salary retention here, because I think Rittich's contract was $2.8 million, so I gotta imagine Calgary kept some money there. Alright, next trade was not a huge one, but it was a trade one way there. New York Islanders get Braden Coburn, and Ottawa gets a 2022 7th rounder. Good depth defender for the Islanders, and definitely an experienced guy, so I think that's what they're going for, and I think that's what they'll get. He's not going to wow you like he used to back in the Flyer days when he played there, but still a good solid 6'7" defender. This was the one that was announced just as I was writing this out. Boston gets Taylor Hall and Curtis Lazar. Now, that's a lot of money coming to Boston, a team that doesn't have much in the way of cap. And Buffalo gets Anders Bjork, good solid young player. I don't know how much offense he'll provide, but who knows? He'll probably be more like a Curtis Lazar type of offense. and a second round pick. Now, they hadn't announced what year the second round pick is, if there was any further assets going to Buffalo. This is just what was announced. And I have to assume, like I wrote there, I have to assume Buffalo is retaining salary, at least half of Hall's and probably half of Lazar's. But that was the R1. Then I know that it was still pending a trade call. I didn't write it down, but supposedly Jeff Carter of LA had been traded to Pittsburgh for a couple of draft picks. But they had not, it was pending the trade call, and until then we aren't going to know all the details. So that one will probably be coming out soon, just like the rest of the details on this one. So in this trade right here, though, solid pickup for Boston. I mean, they had one line. Hopefully Taylor Hall can help them get a second line that can score, and definitely make them a better team having a second line that can do something. And Curtis Lazar is just a throw-in. He'll probably be on the taxi squad, is my guess. Anders Bjork, good pickup for Buffalo, and a second round pick, depending on what year. Going to be a solid pick. You never know. I mean, second rounders, you have a better chance than like a seventh rounder, but we'll have to see. Draft picks, you never know. Sometimes they're hit, sometimes they're miss. And like I said, we have to see what the Buffalo retaining salary is on this one. And for that Jeff Carter one, if it does fully go through the trade call and is approved, then I gotta say Jeff Carter is a good pickup for Pittsburgh. I gotta imagine LA is retaining salary on that one too. That's probably why you're seeing 2 draft picks there. But it's gonna be weird not seeing Jeff Carter in an LA jersey. That's gonna be very weird for me. But then again, I did see him in Philadelphia for the first 7 years of his career, I believe it was. So, either way, there you go. Taylor Hall, the big one for today, obviously. Nick Foligno, big one. So, lots of trades, and I gotta imagine we're gonna have a lot more like this tomorrow. We'll have to see, but most of the big names are now off the board, so we'll have to see what happens. But good trades so far today. We'll have to see what comes of everything in the long run, but for now, enjoy. It's kind of fun actually seeing trades again. Alright, other than that, that is everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. Make sure to hit that notification bell if you haven't done so already. And also make sure to like or comment and share. Let me know what you think of these trades. What trades are you really liking here? Which ones are just absolute bleh, crud to you? Let me know what you think. Alright, I will see you all next video. Bye, everybody.